This is section 2-1, checking accounts. The objectives of this lesson are to explain how checking accounts work and to complete a check register. There are a number of key terms that we need to understand and know the meaning of in this section. Obviously, the first is a checking account, okay? A checking account is an account at a bank that allows a customer to deposit money, make withdrawals, and make transfers, okay? And you don't have to go to the bank to do all this stuff. You can do it externally. An ATM or automated teller machine provides 24 access to banking services such as deposits and withdrawals. And if you use the ATM, you're going to have a personal identification number or PIN to access your account. Now, direct deposit. This is something that's kind of important here. This is used to deposit payroll or government checks directly into an account. For example, if you're working and you get paid by a check, you don't have to go to the bank to deposit the check or do anything like that. It is automatically put into your account. And in some cases, you actually have access to the money about a day sooner than you would if you just got the paper check. Endorse. This simply means this is required by the payee in writing by stamp or electronically to receive the money. You get a check, you must endorse it, okay? Insufficient funds. A check is written for an amount that cannot be paid out of the account. In other words, it's in excess of what the balance is in the account. Overdraft protection, however, helps prevent situations of insufficient funds. These are plans that pay a check even though there are not enough funds in the account. You might think of this as almost as being a loan from the bank, okay? Maintenance fee. This is a monthly charge by the bank to keep the account open. And lastly, interest. This is money given by the bank that is a percentage of the amount in the account over a given period of time, okay? So these are some of the key terms that we have to understand in this section. All right, so let's look at an example here. Allison currently has a balance of $2,300 in her checking account. She deposits a $425.33 paycheck, a $20 rebate check, and a personal check for $550 into her checking account. She wants to receive $200 in cash. How much will she have in her account after the transaction? Well, first of all, in order to do this transaction, she's going to have to fill out a deposit slip. And let's go and look at what that's going to look like. All right, so here's a typical deposit slip. Notice it has a place for the date, has a place for the individual's name, and it also has a place for the account number to go right here. All right? All right, so she's going to deposit a check for $425.33. So notice that's right here, okay? There's your check for $425.33. Next is a $20 rebate check, and that's shown right there. And then lastly, a personal check for $550, and that is located right there. Now, she also wants to receive $200 in cash. So notice it says here, less cash. That's that amount right there. Now, the number right above it is simply the sum of the checks that she's depositing. So if we add up all these three checks, we get this sum right here, which is $995.33. She wants them to give her back in cash $200. So therefore, her total transaction, or the amount that she is depositing, is $795.33. But we want to know how much will she have in her account after the transaction. So if we take this total amount deposited of $795.33, okay, and we add it to her current balance of $2,300, we'll get a new sum of $3,095.33. So that is how much she will have in her account after she completes this complete transaction, depositing 3 checks, taking $200 out in cash. All right, so let's look at another example. Lizzy has a total of X dollars in her checking account. She makes the deposit of B dollars in cash and 2 checks each worth C dollars. She would like D dollars in cash from this transaction. She has enough to cover the cash received in her account. Express her new checking account balance after the transaction as an algebraic expression. Okay, so we're looking for the new checking account balance, all right? So this new checking account balance we're going to call capital B. Now, she has a total of X dollars in her account right now, okay? So that's her current balance. She's going to deposit lowercase b dollars, all right? So therefore we have plus B. She's also going to deposit 2 checks each. Okay, so there's 2 checks, and each of them is worth C dollars. So we got plus C, plus C. And then lastly, she would like D dollars in cash from the transaction. So we have minus D. Well, simplifying this term, this expression out, we get capital B, her new balance, is equal to her old balance, which is X, plus B plus 2C minus D. So an algebraic expression, that's what her new checking account balance will look like. All right, so let's look at yet another example. Nick has a checking account with the Park Slope Savings Bank. He writes both paper and electronic checks. For each transaction, Nick enters the necessary information, check number, date, type of transaction, and amount. And he uses E to indicate an electronic transaction. Determine the balance in his account after the Star Cable Company check is written. Okay, so this is a check register right here. So let's see what we're going to do with this. All right, so notice the different columns here. This first column is the number or code, then date, transaction, payment, deposit, and then we do the calculation here. So his first check here, the check number is 3271. He wrote it on the 5th of May to DeWitt Auto Body, and he puts a little note here. This was for a car repair. The amount, $1,721. Okay, so he puts that in the payment column, all right? Now, then he moves it over to here. Notice he's got a minus sign because this is a payment, all right? So he's going to subtract this from his balance, and that's going to give him a new balance there of $1951.27. He writes another check, $32.72. This is on the 7th of May to the Guitar Hut for new strings, all right? The payment amount is $32.50. Again, that is in the payment column. Moves it over here, again subtracting, giving him a new balance of $1918.77. Then on the 9th, he gets his paycheck. Okay, so this is a deposit. This no longer goes in the payment column, it goes in the deposit amount column. So he deposited $821.53. Goes over here, but now notice we got a plus sign because this is adding to his balance. Since we added to his balance now is $2,740.30. Now, he didn't write a check for the Verizon wireless bill. He did electronic transfer, meaning he probably paid the amount online, okay? And he did this on the 10th. The amount, $101.50, just like when he wrote a check. Transfers it over to here, again a minus sign, giving him a new balance of $2638.80. Another electronic transfer on the same date, the 10th, to the cable company. That was for $138.90. Again, we subtract, And after all these transactions in his check register, he writes that he has a balance now of $2,499.90. All right, so let's continue with Nick. Now he's going to write a check to his friend James Sloan on May 11th for $150.32. What should he write in the check register, and what should the new balance be? All right, so on May 11th, so we're going to put down here 5/11. He writes a check, and most likely it's the next number, so it's going to be $32.73 for a check number. Description, it's going to be to James Sloan. The amount, okay, it's a payment, so it goes in this column here, is $150.32. Again, since it's a payment, we're subtracting, and he has a new balance now of $2,349.58. So this is how he uses his check register, and by using the check register, he knows how much is available in his account at any particular time.